question is to the Minister of Energy and Resources and asks, what reports has he received on likely future support for oil and gas development in New Zealand?
Mr. Speaker.
Honourable
Mr. Speaker, I've seen several reports this very morning about upbeat and confident attitude to oil and gas development and its future under this government. By way of contrast, yesterday I saw reports within hours of each other by the same person both emphatically ruling out then ruling in future Taranaki oil and gas activity. Then this morning, a report ruling out future oil and gas activity in Taranaki, despite what his leader had just said. Mr. Speaker, David Carter should rein in his new candidate.
Order. The Minister should not bring the Speaker into the debate. But anyway, I will hear from Grant Robertson.
Mr. Speaker, previous speakers have ruled, particularly on questions, government questions. This is a government primary question here. The Minister should be talking about things for which he has responsibility for, and he's not doing that.
Order. This question, or the question was certainly in order and accepted, but the answer is seriously close to breaching Speaker's ruling, and I refer the member to Speaker's ruling 154 2A and 2B, which in effect say it is not in order to put a question down which is simply a means of then commenting on any comments made by opposition. I invite the supplementary member, but I will be listening very carefully to it and the answer. Supplementary question, Jonathan Young.
What are the implications for the Taranaki region if the oil and gas sector does not continue to be supported by government?
Honourable Simon Bridges.
Well, Mr. Speaker, flip-flops on policy do no good for business certainty. But, Mr. Speaker, fortunately, this government knows its policies, positions, and that oil and gas ensures Taranaki has the highest GDP per capita in New Zealand. Average salaries from oil and gas twice the national average, and the lowest unemployment in New Zealand. We don't have renegade candidates saying the wrong things.
Supplementary question, Jonathan Young.
What are the implications for New Zealand if oil and gas sector development is brought to a standstill?
Honourable Simon Bridges.
It would be very bad, Mr. Speaker. Oil and gas is New Zealand's fourth commodity merchandise export earner. It employs thousands of people, nearly $1 billion in royalties and taxes a year, providing for schools, hospitals and other infrastructure. And so it's very clear we can't have people out there like Tamati Coffee this morning saying the sort of things he said.
Order.
Point of order. For the second time during this question, Mr. Bridges has strayed well outside of standing orders and has defied your ruling, Mr. Speaker. And you have told us consistently on this side of the House, if we defy rulings, we get thrown out. He just did that.
The member's very close to also accompanying. Listen. Order! I listened very close to both answers. And the member is right. Towards the end of the answer, Mr. Bridges strayed into material which was not going to help the order of this House. I, on both occasions, immediately ceased the Minister's answers. But prior to that, his answer was quickly in adherence with standing orders and Speaker's rulings. Prior to that.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
First point of order, Grant Robertson.
Mr. Speaker, you ruled, after the primary answer that Mr. Bridges gave, that he should not stray into material for which he is not responsible, that it would lead to disorder in the House. He then did that again. That is in defiance of your ruling. You've ejected someone from the side of the House today for exactly the same crime.
The member is wrong, and I invite him afterwards to have a look at the Hansards. both questions were quite in order. One was, what was the implications to the oil and gas industry? And we listened to that, and when the Minister then strayed into something that had something to do with another opposition party's policy, I shut him down immediately. The second question was around implications to the New Zealand economy. Again, it was answered quite in order until the Minister strayed, and the moment he strayed, I rose to my feet and stopped that answer. Order! I cannot continue with the points of order when the member is going to continue to talk above me. The member may well shake his head, but there is a certain decorum required in this House that when I'm on my feet, members should cease interjecting. And that applies to all members in this House. Point of order, the Honourable Gerry Brownlee.
Mr Speaker, just to be clear, can a minister be asked for an opinion that relates to his portfolio and then go ahead and say, give the information to the House indicating who actually supplied him with the information that causes him concern?
It is a matter of me ruling on the occasion, but it's not appropriate for any minister. He may be well aware of alternative policies, which he can mention, but then to lead the answer into blatant criticism of the opposition policy is not a responsibility of any minister in this House. Further point of order?
Yes, no, it's a new point of order, Mr Speaker.
Point of order.
During the point of order, when my colleague was on his feet and there was meant to be complete silence, otherwise people would be kicked out, the Leader of the House, Gerry Brownlee, interjected very loudly, "Sit down." So I wondered whether you heard that and whether you'd be taking action.
No, I didn't hear that, but to order. I didn't hear that, but... And the same comment I've just made applies to Claire Cohen. I didn't hear it, but there have been numerous occasions when I've been on my feet and members from both sides of the House have continued to talk. I've asked for it to cease. I will continue to ask for it to cease, but on this particular case, I did not hear the interjection, and I'm not proposing to ask Mr Brownlee to leave the chamber.
Point of order. Point of order.
Point of order, Brendan Horan.
Thank you, sir. Sir, you said you were listening very closely. Prior to that question, did you hear the minister refer to a candidate's sexuality? Because I did, and I found it outrageous.
No, I did not hear such an interjection. But if the member did and he takes offence, we'll take the matter from there.
Mr. Speaker.
Supplementary question, David Shearer.
To the Minister, why did he jump the gun when he announced the major commercial discovery of West Coast Oil by Mossman, the company, when the company said it wasn't even at the stage of economic assessment?
Speaker.
Honourable Simon Bridges.
No, I haven't jumped the gun. I stand by everything I said. Unlike Tamati Coffey, who today has been saying the precise opposite to his leader, David Cunliffe.
Question number 8, Brendan Horan.
Thank you, Mr Speaker.
Order.
To the